Canada who perpetrated a crime against someone and decided to participate in the restorative justice process. And he said that this approach was often more difficult than going to jail. First, this is what he said, first one must deal with the shock and then the dismay on your neighbors' faces. One must live with the daily humiliation and at the same time seek forgiveness, not just from victims, but from the community as a whole. A prison sentence removes the offender from daily accountability and may not do anything toward rehabilitation, and for many may actually be an easier disposition than staying in the community. I spoke to someone during the break about restorative justice. She asked a question about restorative justice, and I referred to a case that I actually ended one of the books. It's not that one, it's the other one. This little book that's called Are Prisons Obsolete? And I ended with a discussion of this horrible killing, horrible act of violence against a white woman from the U.S., a young white student who was in South Africa in 1993 as a Fulbright scholar. She was participating in the campaign to elect Nelson Mandela. And I'll just read this from the book. On August 25th, Amy Beale was driving several black friends to their home in Guguletu when a crowd shouting anti-white slogans confronted her. And some of them stoned and stabbed her to death. In 1997, Linda and Peter Beale, Amy's mother and father, decided to support the amnesty petition the men presented to the Truth and Reconciliation hearings. The four men who killed their daughter apologized to the Beales and were released in July 1998. Two of them, Ezi Nofemela and Mdobeko Penny, later met with the Beales. And according to one of the men who was the killer, he wanted to say more about his own sorrow for killing their daughter than what would have been possible during Truth and Reconciliation hearings. I know you lost a person you loved, he told them during the meeting. I want you to forgive me and take me as your child. And eventually, they developed a very close relationship with this man who killed their daughter. And Linda Beale, the mother, when asked how she now feels about the men who killed her daughter, she said, I have a lot of love for them. and she bought 2 plots of land for them in memory of her husband. And one of the things she said was that she learned how to look into the eyes of the man who killed her daughter and to see the last eyes that saw her daughter alive. And she learned how to love those eyes. Now that's incredible. And so, I mean, this is such a remarkable example. But I think it holds a promise that we might begin to think about forms of justice that do not perpetrate more violence, but forms of justice that allow us to love one another. And so, yeah, I was just elaborating